this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out in the cold again, in the car. Yeah, it's getting cold here again. I tell you, you think it's going to warm up, and then it doesn't. Only lasted for like 2 days. Yeah, we're back in the cold again. So anyway, today I wanted to talk a little bit about junk mail and magazines. Junk mail and magazines. Yeah, when I had my businesses, I got free magazines. Did you guys ever get free magazines? Yeah, there's companies who will contact you if you're a business owner, ask you if you want a free magazine. The key word was free. I said, sure, okay, I'll take a free magazine. So I'll ask for the free magazine, and of course, after a little processing time, magazines start showing up. But so does all the junk mail. If you ask for free magazines, you get a bunch of junk mail. So I was doing this for a while because these companies would ask you for, hey, you want another magazine? Yeah, sure, okay. Next thing you know, more junk mail. Pretty soon it got to the point where there was so much junk mail coming in and so many magazines coming in, Mrs. Wright said, don't get any more magazines. This is getting out of control. Yeah, okay. Well, it was sent to the house, and then eventually I decided, well, I'll just send it to my office. Yeah, because, I ran a photography school, right? I had a photography business as well. I had a forensic business too. I don't think I've ever mentioned that to you guys, but I did. And so anyway, I said, I'll just have it sent to the office. Yeah, lots of mail, lots of junk mail every single day. So here's the problem with the junk mail, okay? And of course, we still get junk mail, but I don't have any magazines, free magazines coming in anymore, and that cut out a lot of it. But there's still a lot of junk mail comes in. The problem with junk mail is if you just throw it in the garbage, your name and your address and everything is still there. So what I typically do is I will rip that part off, and then I will recycle the paper. But that means having to rip out your name and address on every single piece of junk mail that comes in. And then I shred those. I shred the name and address on it to keep things safe, right? You don't want identity theft going on, so you shred it. But the problem is even so, some of these junk mails that come in not only have your name and address printed on the envelope, but they also have your name printed on the solicitation letter. It'll say, Dear Russ. And then it'll offer whatever they're offering. So you got to go in there, rip out the Dear Russ as well. Now, if it happens to be a credit card application, this credit card company wants you to consider using their credit card, so they send you an application. A lot of those applications are already pre-filled out with your information. It is. It's filled out with your information, and let me go over on this lane here. So now you have to go in there and not only rip out the name out of the solicitation letter, but you got to go into the application and rip out all of the name, address, and everything else that they might have already pre-filled out for you. It's out of control, yeah. Now, I like the free magazines, but I don't like the additional junk mail. So I haven't had free magazines in quite a number of years, and it cut out a lot of the junk mail, but I still get junk mail. Yeah, I think every household gets a certain amount of junk mail, right? So anyway, let me know in the comments below, how much junk mail do you get? What do you do with it? Do you do what I do and rip out your name and your address, or do you just toss it in the mail, in the garbage, and don't worry about it? Do you recycle that stuff, or do you just throw it in the garbage? I throw it in the recycle bin. Yeah, because I think the paper can be recycled. Now, here's another thing that's a problem too. Amazon, okay? Now, sometimes Amazon, when they send you boxes and stuff, it'll have a label. I can usually rip the label off the box before I disassemble the box, then toss the box inside the recycle bin. But sometimes if it's a small item, as you might know, it may not come in a box. It may come in an envelope, kind of like a bubble wrapped type envelope, right? Well, it's hard to pull the sticky part off of that. And not only can you not pull it off of there, if you try to pull it off of there, it just rips it apart. And you can't put that through the shredder because it's plastic. Yeah, it kind of tries to cross cut it, but it just leaves it in strips that are still connected. So the only way to do that is you have to take the scissors and you have to cut it apart and then shred your name with the scissors. That's a lot of work. So same thing with the e-bike boxes that come in, right? I have to get rid of the boxes. I can't keep all the boxes because the boxes are huge. If you ever bought an e-bike, and I'm sure many of you have watched this channel, the box is pretty big, and considering how many bikes have come through, if I kept every single box, we'd be loaded down with boxes. So as soon as the bike is built, I usually toss the box out. This is why I can't ship bikes. One of the reasons. The other reason is just too costly to ship a bike. So I can't ship anything because I've already gotten rid of the box. But the same thing, I will go through there and I will take out the label. I'll usually take out the label from the manufacturers too, because it has your bike serial number and everything on there. So I usually take that off. So I find myself stripping out a lot of information that's easily taken by anybody who has access to your garbage. So yeah, it's a little frustrating, to say the least. Now, on a weekly basis, of course, we also get things like the weekly food ads and the like, right? Comes like a little newspaper-looking thing. You got to take that off too, because some of them, they used to just like, okay, this goes to every house on this block or every house in this area. They don't have to really address it too well, right? Because they know everyone's going to get one of these things. But now it actually has the address printed on there as well. So you got to rip that off too. Yeah, it gets to be kind of a pain. Yeah. The problem with it for me is I don't usually do it right away. If I did it right away, the minute it came in, then it would be more under control. But a lot of times I just throw it on the table and it starts stacking up to the point where Mrs. Wright can't handle it anymore. Says, get rid of this stuff. And then I got a whole half hour or so to deal with all that stuff to take it apart. Yeah, it happens a lot. So anyway, I am headed to my normal morning ritual of getting a pizza, but I'm going to a different Costco this time. I mentioned that we are kind of like in the middle of multiple Costcos. So this one's a little bit farther, but I figured, good day for a drive. Adds a few extra miles, each way. And it gave me a little more time that I could just sit and talk. Now, it is an overcast day. My thermometer in my car shows it to be 34 degrees outside. And I think it won't get any higher than that either. I think it's supposed to be a high of about that temperature. I was wondering a little bit about the thermometer on the car. I figured, well, the engine's running. Maybe that adds a little bit to the temperature. Because when I went out before this, I checked, the temperature on my watch and everything, and it said it was like 31 or 32. So unless it jumped 2 degrees, I keep thinking, well, maybe the car adds a degree or two, because where's the thermometer located? I mean, I don't know where it is. Is it by the engine? Where did they put it? All right, anyway, that's about all I have for you guys today. I just wanted to rant a little bit about junk mail and the like. And let me add this too, since we talked a little bit about magazines. You might be wondering, how do I get free magazines? Let me tell you about that. Yeah, if you're a business owner, many times companies will solicit you and say, would you like a free magazine? You want People magazine, you want Newsweek, you want Time, whatever. or it might be magazines specifically to your profession, okay? So now here's the thing, you know, there are companies that, you know, are kind of like, I don't know, it's like Publishers Clearinghouse or something. They have access to a lot of magazines, okay? So once they give you one, they usually will come back and say, do you want this other magazine? Do you want this other magazine? The reason they do this is because, of course, the more subscribers they have to the magazines, the more ads will be run for the magazine. Yeah, it's basically ad revenue thing. It kind of sounds like YouTube, right? Yeah, they always want subscribers, just like we want subscribers. So they're willing to give away free magazines. And because of that, I have a hard time buying any magazines now, because I kind of figured, well, why should I pay for it when I know I can probably get it for free if I wanted to? So, yeah, I mean, how do you get a hold of that? I don't know. Try Googling free magazines. See what companies show up. But be forewarned, if you do this, okay, junk mail will come afterwards. Yeah, so if you don't like lots of junk mail, then don't get the free magazines. But I mean, considering how much magazines cost, you know, even as a subscription, some magazines are pretty expensive. Usually subscriptions should be less than like the newsstand price, right? But I have a hard time paying for it when I know I can get it for free. So okay, so I'm not encouraging you guys to do it, but I'm just saying that, you know, you can get free magazines if you really want to. There are companies that do it for you. All right, just do a little bit of searching. You'll probably find it if you want that. Okay, if you don't mind all the junk mail that comes in afterward. All right, that's about all I have for you guys for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Watch on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for Russ Talk type videos. And then Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we will have e-bike related videos. Talk to you guys next time.